What's up?
So.
Did you miss me last week?
Oh, of course. And of course, you're
Therefore.
going to miss me next week because I'm going to be out of town. I think I talked to
Oh, that's next week. Cool, man. I don't have to deal with you next. I mean, I don't get to see you next week.
Same here, dude. Same here. I don't have to listen to Tim brag about how he's got this and he's got that.
Yeah, because, that Tim guy, he's just got so much going on.
He's got so much, and he's just so fabulous, and oh my freaking God. Yep. He's fantabulous. Fantabulous. He's not saying anything. He's quiet.
Hey, somebody's got to be awesome at everything. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it.
I know. Somebody's got to do it. I know. But and then there's a lot of times when I have these conversations and women are, I think personally, it's just my personal opinion, but we're some of the unsung heroes that are out there. We just don't say much about it because we already know. We don't have to say anything. We already know.
Yeah. So
ladies,
doesn't your friend Tony have an event this week?
Possibly.
You don't even know?
Possibly. I think she does. Yeah, possibly.
She's my friend too, and I don't have a clue, so don't feel bad.
I've been busy.
Her husband was here this week, though.
I have been working my ass off. Well, you're also closer to her.
Well, no, yeah, her husband was here helping my brother working on the house back there on Monday. I think Monday and Tuesday.
Yep. So. See, she's my friend, but all my friends moved away. We all moved away.
I know. All my friends are gone.
All my friends are gone. We moved away. We were in California, and they decided
California ain't the place we wanted to be anymore.
So pick up the truck and we moved to other places.
Moved to Tennessee.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
And we moved out to all the places. I mean, one's in Tennessee, one's in New Mexico, and 2 are in Texas. Yeehaw.
Who's the other one that's in Texas? I forget.
Elisa.
Oh, Elise. Oh, that's right. Elisa's actually closer to me.
Yeah, Elisa Ellis.
She's probably in my backyard, and I just don't know it. But
she's waving at you. Hey, Tim.
She's like Little Elm area. Little Elm is my back door.
Hi, Tim. It's me. She's doing really well on Instagram and so.
I know. She's just on Instagram. She's so famous as Instagram. She doesn't have time to talk to the lowlife Tim Gillette.
No. She's busy gal. We're all busy. And that's what I think is interesting is you see all these articles and you see all these people talking about recession. I've never been busier. I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing it. I'm just saying.
It's funny you talk recession. I was going to play a clip today about that, but we played a clip a couple weeks ago and I got flagged on YouTube from it.
Uh-oh.
They didn't take it down. We just can't monetize it. Not that we're ever going to monetize our YouTube channel. I just don't know.
I know which one yeah.
I know which. But I seen this comedian who basically said this. He was a comedian talking about Joe Biden. He says, so I was watching our president, and after about 3 minutes, he says, I turned to my wife and I said, doesn't this guy look like he just wants to really just sit down and watch Gunsmoke and eat ice cream?
Oh my!
Doesn't he look like he'd be happier that way? And he's like, now he goes, no, I realize so many people voted for him. All right, but I got to ask you, if you voted for him, if you owned a Starbucks franchise right now, would you hire him to run the cash register?
Depends on who he was talking about. Just saying. Depends on who he was talking about. And now here we come. 2024, we're going to have another election.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. And wait a minute. I think this is a repeat.
There's a chance it's going to be a repeat.
It's a repeat.
All I got to say is I'm glad it's not a repeat of the 16 one. I mean, God bless. I'm not against the women running the country. I was against that woman running the country.
Well, you know what? A lot of people though were, we had talked about this on the show, and they said that it has to do with her voice. We talked about this.
Yeah, we've heard that. No, I
Has
have
to do with her voice.
I have diehard Democrat fans who wouldn't vote for her.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why? And they're like, I'm like, she's like the ultimate in Democrat. Why wouldn't you want to? And one of my friends said, my friend in California, I think you know her, Kat. She said to me, she said, simply because she didn't do one simple thing. She did not stand up and say, hey, listen, you elect me, you get Bill back. I'm in the White House, so will Bill. You all love Bill? He's my partner in life.
Yeah.
And she says she couldn't say that one thing. She's all me. She says, I'm not voting for me. And she wouldn't vote for him. She voted third party.
Yeah.
Another friend of mine, again, diehard Democrat. This woman would check everything on the Democrat box if it was possible, would not vote for her. And she said the reason being, she's one of those people who has a different sexual idea on life, and said obviously Bill and Hillary's relationship is different. She says it's not a traditional marriage. She said, and when that all came out, they all tried to hide it and pretend like it wasn't. She said they should have just said, listen, we're different.
Yep, I'm proud.
And she said if they would have admitted that, I would have been fine. But they tried to hide it like they weren't. And she goes, I know darn well it is. And now I'm not saying that's what it is and that's what it isn't. But to hear two diehard Democratic friends of mine tell me those are the reasons why they would not vote for Hillary Clinton, those just blew my mind.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I had read several things, and they were saying that what a lot of people go by when it comes to looking at the president and so forth, a lot of it has to do with their voice. And the way, and that's with anything coming across and so forth. But I thought that was interesting, is that if you had a certain type of voice, people just like, because if you asked other people about it and you said why, they just said, just because I don't like her. What don't you like about her? I don't know. There's something about her. Just don't like. Don't know.
Well, no, there was the same thing with the same thing with Obama when he came out. A lot of people, I like him. Why? I don't know. I just do. Yeah. And a lot of people said it was his voice.
Yep. So
he had a voice that made you trust him.
Yeah, and that's what they said. It has to do with the inflection of the voice and the body language.
Yeah. I think, we look at what people do that said. I think Trump is people were just sick of the insiders and they wanted to try somebody from the outside. That's what I really think it was.
Well, and when you ask people, they say they voted for him because they wanted something different.
Yeah. And I mean, he was different. And I'm hearing a lot of people now say, no.
Definitely different.
My throat is scratchy. I'm gonna have to get some cough drops or something. But anyway, a lot of people are saying now, with the way everybody's attacking him, that like they're trying to attack him to keep him silenced and down. They're wondering, like, if all the insiders are attacking him, what are they scared of with this man? And I'm not saying whether you like or dislike him. That's a true thought to think about.
Yeah.
Come on. He was the moment he was dropped out of office, they were still going at him, and they've been going at him for 3 years now. They don't quit.
True.
He's not in office, and they're still going after him.
Well, and he's still getting playtime. He's never gotten so much publicity.
And I know. I think that there's something in the general that they're scared of this guy.
I don't know. Hard to say. But I wanted to talk about, because I know we were talking about last week, we were talking about the chat GPT.
Yeah. Well, not last week, 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, artificial intelligence, AI, and so forth. And I wanted to explain something to people, because I know some people think chat GPT, I'm not quite sure what it entails. It's still too new for me. So
it's the devil.
No. Basically, what chat GPT is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that it basically is a system that takes all of the information and all the data that has gone in to the internet or has gone out there into the ethers of the internet. And based on your question that you're asking it, it's going to grab all of the content that ties into that particular question you're asking. And then it's going to pull it all up. And like we were talking about, you could use it for business where if you have hard time writing content, you can pull it up and say, hey, I'm looking to do a blog on social science, or I'm looking to do a blog on marketing your best way to market your business. Whatever that may be, it's going out there through the internet and it's getting all of the articles that people have written on that. And it's taking the best things that they feel is going to work for your question. And it's giving you the answer. And this can be a good thing for business as anything else, but I actually saw an interesting piece on the news that now they're having problems with this with schools, because now the school has their own AI piece.
Hold on. Wait. First, I want to make sure we all understand. You used a 4-letter word. What was the 4-letter word you used?
I have no idea. What was the 4-letter word I used?
News.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Please.
Right there's the first sign I don't trust what you read.
Oh, whatever. And it hasn't just been on the news, it's been other places that I found this information. I did my homework. But needless to say, the schools are having a hard time with the students because the students can go on and find a thesis or paper that was already written, and they can either copy it verbatim, which wouldn't be the smartest idea, but they can take pieces of it and then kind of make it their own. So they did a test on this AI piece that they're trying to set up so that they can tell whether a student has cheated or whether they've really written a paper that is legit and specific for them. The problem in lies that when they were talking to the gentleman that came up with the program, about 98%, it was correct whether a student plagiarized it and copied it verbatim or another student took bits and pieces of it. But there were several students that had written their own thesis, was never put on the internet, that this AI had said, nope, she cheated. It was something that was plagiarized, and it wasn't. So the question herein lies that you've got your one system that's giving you all this information based on what's out there on the internet. Then you've got another system that's trying to protect whether the grade should be legit or not, because whether they wrote it or not on their own, and it's not really 99 or 100% proof. So what if a student who did write their own thesis is now being told that, nope, you cheated according to our AI system? It found that your piece was cheated, that it was something that you plagiarized, and it wasn't. So how is it then with chat and the AI that you figure this pieces out? Because now that's starting to come up.
See, my opinion on this.
Wait. Tim has an opinion?
Tim has an opinion. Tim will not state this is a fact.
Tim has an opinion.
This is my opinion. Had that student started a business, by the time they got to the point where they're graduating, the teachers say this, all right, and they got a business that's making money, paying for their house, paying for their lifestyle, and everything like that, there are 2 words that the student can say to the teacher then. Fine. Fuck off. I don't need your stinking certificate. Bye.
I'm just saying. It starts.
This is why I have no college education. How far did you go in college?
I had a couple classes here and there, but I did not get a college certificate.
But you have no degree either, right?
No, I do not.
And I'm guessing, you know what I mean? You're one of the homeless people living down there on Hollywood Boulevard, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
because you didn't get that college education, so you can't be going very well, right?
No.
You know why? It's because you weren't programmed. And that's what the colleges are doing, is programming these kids on how to fit into a society, right?
True.
Guess what? This is part of the new society. And if you want them to fit in, they're going to have to fit in. They're going to have to learn how to use this right. I would grade them on how they, I would ask for your resources. Okay, so you got this from ChatGPT. Great. How did you enhance what you got there from them? Because it's not that you got it from ChatGPT. It's that you can take it and you can enhance it and make it better.
Yeah.
That's what they should be grading them on, not whether they used AI to do it or not. My
Agreed.
daughter ran a whole thing writing kids' theses for years. She used to get paid to write their work for them. And she couldn't tell anybody she was making cash over the barrel, writing theme papers for people for college.
Well, and that's something that's been going on for a long time as well, that people have been paying because they don't have time. They don't want to do it. So they pay someone else to write it. They turn it in. Done.
No.
They get their grade.
Hold on. I think this is go on a second. I think this is about my car.
Oh.
Well, no, they'll leave it in voicemail. Never mind. They just went there. But anyway.
But the other part of this too, and we had this discussion, was now there are copyright attorneys out there that are now starting to look at things and say, okay, as a business owner, you have the opportunity to get this stuff and put it on your site or put it wherever you decide to do. And if it is something that sounds very similar to someone else's site or someone else's blog, can you then go back and say, hold on, this is plagiarizing this copyrighted information, and this person you can see wrote pretty close to this. I mean, that's like the whole thing that's going with what Ed Sheeran and his music.
Yeah.
He has this song that supposedly sounds very similar to Marvin Gaye, but if you listen to it, it's just the beat. The rest of the song is totally different. But the beat,
same thing happened with Vanilla Ice and Queen.
I know.
Huey Lewis in the News and
I know.
And Ray Parker Jr. Shall we continue with how many of these have been up there through the years?
I know, but that's why I'm saying there's so much information out there. How can you truly sit down and say, "Oh, that's mine"?
ChatGPT, rewrite this and put it in this tone for me. I can't tell you how many times I put something up in there. Okay, now rewrite it, but put this tone to it. Now rewrite it, but put it in the voice of. Most people don't think. Those are little things. John Limbacher did an interesting thing at the event we were at last week, and he shared with this. He said, ChatGPT cannot lie. But every now and then, you're going to find something that's false information based on the information it gathered.
Yep, true.
So there's a way to find out every time if it lied. And that is, please, at the end, please list your resources. You ask it. At the end, please list your resources.
So here's some good pointers out there for people. And just like with search engines, how is the best way then? Not necessarily talking about the things that Chat GPT could cause problems, but what is the best way to utilize Chat GPT and the best way to ask the questions? Because even though you might ask a question, like you said, then you put it in this tone or list your resources. Mm-hmm. And those are key things that I think people should think about.
Well, you think about it. That young lady who did her theme paper that they said it was plagiarized. Had she put resources? This is where I got my information from, and then they went and checked the information and found out it wasn't copied word for word. It was information she took to write the data she wrote. Now they go, okay, we were wrong. This was not AI written. This is written by you, because it's not written on an AI source. It's the people who copy and paste things.
True.
But it's the lazy people in this world who will find a system like that. And the second they find a way to cash in other words, they can convert the lazy system to cash, they will be far more successful than you and I, who will work our asses off and never stop, and we'll keep going and going and going and going, all right, until we get successful. We will take the hard way every time. I see people, and this is a balance to figure out in the world today, all right? You want to talk about a business G-spot, hot spot right here. People who are lazy will find a way to make the system work for them instead of them working for the system every time. And they will be more successful at it than you and I.
And what do you think that is?
Because they don't have a heart they don't have a heart or a something's linked to the success. Okay, this one didn't work out next.
So in other words, it's a limited success. They'll have that success for a limited period of time, and then they go to the next one.
You think about this. If you find a way, oh man, my throat's killing me on this one. I was talking to Larry Broughton about this. He was talking about Bridget Brady. Now, you know Bridget, right? He's talking about Bridget Brady today. And he said, Tim, when Bridget hired her first employee, she's like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to do this more often, because she realized that she could pay the employee to do the things that she was wasting hours and hours doing it, and they can do it in this amount of time because that's what they're trained to do.
Yeah.
And then he has to pay them this amount of money as opposed to all the money she was costing herself to do it herself. And most people will come down and realize, oh, wait a minute. If I hire Katrina to do my website, I don't have to do that anymore. Oh, wait a minute. Look, website up. Oh, why didn't I do that last time?
Yeah.
Oh, that comes down to it.
Yeah.
It's the people who are willing to take the lazy way out that are going to find success faster.
I guess. And I don't know if you'd necessarily say the lazy way out. They're just the smart. They're working smart.
One of the most wealthiest people I know personally is one of the most laziest people I know personally.
Is that somebody we both know?
Yes.
Because he's got everybody else doing it for
him. That's it. He built the system to make it work for everybody else.
Yep.
And I just got off his call.
Yep. Yeah, he does very little work.
He's fat, happy, and rich, and he loves it.
Yep. Because he has everybody else doing it for him.
He does. He found the right people to do the work.
And that's the key, finding the right people to do the work. The hardest part, I think, as an entrepreneur is the control issue. We think we can do it better than somebody else. And so when we hire somebody on and we're assuming that they're going to do it the same way we do, it's not going to happen.
I'm still not going to answer it. I don't care how many times you call me. Leave a voicemail, dude.
There's such a thing as do not disturb on your phone.
It is, but the problem is the phone's linked to the computer and it comes up on the computer.
Yeah, I don't connect mine because of
that. Well, everything's connected in my house.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Everything's connected. Dare I say even never mind. I won't go there. We might get banned.
I'm actually trying to find where's the do not disturb.
Do not disturb me. I am busy. I am on a call. I'm just saying though, I think I think you're right. A lot of times if people want to take the easy way out, that's the way they're going to take. And yes, people are very successful because they've taken the easy way out, but
it's not always the easy way, though.
No, it isn't. Especially if you don't
lazy
the
way.
Right people.
It's the lazy way, and the lazy way. When I mean that is when the lazy way is when you find a way to make something work without you having to put out the effort yourself. That's what I mean by that. It doesn't mean that you're dumb. Doesn't mean that you're not. You know what I mean? That you're not working. It just means you find the way that you have to put less energy out to get a result.
Well, and we can also reframe that. Instead of saying the lazy way, we can say working smarter instead of harder.
Yes, that's the way we say it. But in reality it's those people with the I don't want to work mentality, all right, they are more determined to not work than they are to get rich.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
All right. And those are the type of people that, because they're more determined not to work, they're going to find ways to make the system work for them instead of them work for the system.
I agree.
All right. And they're not the ones that are going to be driving around in the fancy Ferraris and being the CEO of Coca-Cola. No, they don't care about that shit. No.
No.
They want to put the minimum effort out and be able to live the life they want.
Yeah. But I think the key things are the systems you put in place and the people you hire.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the key things. And a lot of people make that mistake where they find systems that don't work so well, or they hire people on that aren't really good at what they're doing, or claim they are, but have proved otherwise.
I know. Well, no, this is why I had a conversation with Larry Broughton this morning, because as I'm building my company, this new company out, I'm like, Larry, I've never had W-2 employees. And now I'm realizing I may have to build a company with W-2 employees. I want you to talk to me about what the advantages are of one over the other, because you've done both. Let's talk about it. I need to know this. I need to have this all in my mind, and I need to have, you know what I mean, an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, I'm not doing this to just build another stream of income and another line of work for Tim to do. No, I'm looking to build this as a company for a reason. That's why I talked with Larry Broughton this morning. And Larry and I talking about this idea and getting it down for the whole ideas out there. And he said, and my mind just went blank.
Brain fart.
Duh.
Well,
what was I talking about before I said that?
You were talking about the easy way out, working smarter, not harder, systems, and how you have to hire the right people, because sometimes.
Well, yeah, okay. Now I'm back on track.
Okay.
So Larry says, before you hire, like we're going to get designers, is what we're looking for, designers to do websites. He says, I would actually find some people, and as a test, you're going to pay them for the test, but as a test, you're going to pay them to do 5 sites. I need you to here's the templates. Convert this 5 sites with this information for people, and see, number one, how fast they can do it, how well they can do it. Right? If you find out that they take too long, that's not your person.
Mm-hmm.
But if you find out how efficient they can get it done and how well they're willing to follow your system, that tells you whether you want to hire them or not.
Good point.
Yeah, and I never thought about that, but he had a good point. I'm like, yeah, why not test people out?
I did that with an Indian company. I had a guy contact me. I had a website that was just a blank website, and I said, take this, put this information together, and get this going. Site went down, couldn't get it. He was having issues back and forth, and I was like, what's the problem? And then I said, no, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it made you realize what you would get and what you wouldn't get. And I know the hardest part you're trying to do, you're trying to hire in the US. A lot of people don't always want to hire in the US. They want to hire outside because they can get more for their money. Because when they hire outside, they can pay cheaper wages. However, the problem with that a lot of times lies that they don't write and they don't talk the same way as we do. So if you have them put content together, you can tell it's not written from somebody who's in the United States.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to rewrite it.
Yeah.
And that's something that you have to figure out what's going to work best for you. And also, when it comes to websites as well, I know a lot of people take the easy way out where they'll hire somebody in the Philippines, or they'll hire somebody from India, or I'm not quite sure all of them that are out there, but they'll hire somebody to do this and do the design, and it's very blocky and very template.
Well, that's where this is where I thought about getting young kids to do the sites for what we were doing, and then basically say, with the templates, because I want them to understand how to use the templates.
Yeah.
and the optimized press, which I think you use, Beaver Builder was one of the other ones everybody uses, but it's designed on building it out to template type area. So it's block formatted, which is a lot of the new things in there.
Yeah.
But it was block formatted as a plugin long before WordPress went to block. So,
well, WordPress was a lot different in regards to it. It used to be based more on code than it was block format.
Yeah.
And now they've got their new ones where they can do block format as well. But just like with anything, it just depends on what you're trying to pull together and what's going to work best for you and for your clients. But just like I said, the thing is how do you set these things up so that way it works very well for your business, so that you don't have to do as much. You're working smarter instead of harder. And that has to do with your systems and the people you have in place.
Yeah. Well, I'm in building this business. All right, I'm going to set systems up that that's my whole job, is writing the system. Right. and finding people who are going to work with the systems and highly rewarding those people who follow the systems and get work done.
Yeah.
And that's the key, is highly rewarding those people who follow the systems and get the job done.
And
Right.
What is that highly rewarding? Are they getting bonuses? Are they getting?
That's where I'm going to come up with a bonus structure system. All right. You know, from the get-go is I thought about doing everything commission based. You get paid so much per site, but that's 1099 people. So,
Well, not necessarily with just commission. You can also do it as a base rate where they make $500 a week. I'm just saying off the top of my head, $500 a week, and that's their base rate. And then they do their thing. My understanding, and I've done this both with a W-2 as well as with vendors or contractors. My understanding from the EDD is that if they are working on your equipment, they are working specific hours, and they are working for only one client, they're an employee.
Yeah.
If they are working for various different clients, working on the hours that they work to get it done, and it's not set hours, and they're working on their own equipment, it is then considered a consultant.
Okay.
Or a contractor. That was my understanding how you would define that. And depending on your state and how they define it would also depend on that as well. Because as we know, I worked in California, and they had the strictest standards when it came to employee versus a contractor.
Yeah.
And that's what they specified. So if they're working and most people are working remotely anyway, but just depends on the times they're working, what they're doing, if they're just working on one client or several clients. And that's something you have to figure out.
Okay.
Have you found anybody yet?
No, I haven't even started looking.
I thought you were putting ads out there already.
I haven't done it yet.
No. Well, what's taking so long? Let's go, man. Come on. Let's get this business going.
Yeah. So far, I'm on top of everything. I'm not behind. That's why I'm still, I'm slowly looking, not hard looking. All right.
What's going to happen when you get a whole rush of people and now you're like, oh shit.
I will work night and day for 6 days straight if I have to get it done. That's the difference. That is why I will succeed at this.
Yeah, because you're willing to put.
I'm willing to do whatever I have to succeed.
And a lot of people aren't. Yeah. When it comes to businesses, and we know this, and that's what a lot of people started about around the COVID time. They didn't want to work anymore at the jobs they wanted, or didn't want. And now they're working on their own, started their own business. But how hard have they really worked on it? Or had they just, you know what? This isn't working so well. I think I'll just do this, or I think I'll do that, or they hop around and do different things. But as we know, being an entrepreneur is not an easy journey to go down. It's filled with a lot of risk. It's filled with putting a lot of money out there that sometimes is not always a good investment. Sometimes it is a good investment. Just depends. And a lot of times not knowing what you don't know.
No.
Has to do with a lot of experience and time and effort. You've been there, right?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We actually celebrated our 16th year of being in business in April 10th of this year. 16 years. 16 candles. We turned sweet 16.
Good for you.
Then when we turn 20, I don't know, maybe then I'll retire, sell it off. Never know.
This one, yeah. Well, technically, this is one form or another in this business for 14 for me.
Yeah.
But, when it comes down to businesses, I've been in one business or another since 1988.
Well, we know that.
Yeah.
We know that. But I've been in corporate I was in corporate for 30 years before this.
Yeah, I did not hold. I was talking with somebody about that this weekend. It's like in my lifetime, I've not held a job more than 2 years. for somebody else. And it wasn't that like I went in 2 years, I got fired. It was like after 2 years, I got bored.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want more than this. And sometimes it was I want more money. Sometimes it was I want more freedom. Sometimes I want more control.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was like I want more work. All right. And it was always I want more. This isn't enough. I got to go do something else.
Well, was anybody in your family an entrepreneur before you?
My grandfather. My grandfather had my mom's dad had a barbershop. He had a shop of his own. He had a truck of his own, and he worked for the city. That was when I was
a lot of stuff going on.
He had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And, and he was a hustler. I mean, and we look at what we knew today and how we succeed today. The amount of monies we make today is more than what my grandfather made, right? And he supported 4 kids onto it and a small house in a small town.
It's a lot different.
Yeah, it's a different world. But my mom has told me the story many, many times when she had to put the down payment down for her high school, for her high school ring. It was a $5 payment. And she said her dad went out and sold crap all day long to get that $5 down payment for her to get that ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing that makes the difference, as you can tell from that generation to ours, is he worked doing whatever he had to do to succeed and keep food on the table. We work to do whatever we have to do to keep food on the table. The difference is our food on the table has changed to our food on the table, our smartphone bill, our AC bill, our cable bill. TV, our internet bill. You know what I mean?
Buying a new computer.
Our eating is not our $20 grocery bill. It's we go to McDonald's on Tuesdays. We go to Starbucks in the morning. We go to. I mean, there's a difference. It's just our standards got raised. And I think about that as we go down, as I look at different things in our lives right now, and I'm going, well, yeah. Every time I turn around, it's $1,000 expense somewhere. Raised my standards 5 years ago. So now, what used to cost me $100 here and there now costs me $1,000 here and there.
Yeah.
When you raise your standards, the cost of things get raised as well.
Well, and I remember growing up. I mean, I grew up with a single parent. My mom worked. At one time, she even worked 4 jobs. She was a legal secretary Monday through Friday. Then she was a PBX operator at one of the hospitals Saturday and Sunday. And then in the evening, she would work for other lawyers here and there off the clock. And then at one point, she was also working for an author to type up his book and so forth. And it's out there now. And she worked her ass off constantly working. And she raised 2 girls by herself. We never did without food. We never did without having a roof over our head. We always were able to get to school and back and get clothes for school. I mean, it wasn't as much as what some of our other friends had, but we didn't do without. We never did without. Okay. And I think that's the change in the generation, I think. And today is if it's too hard, it's kind of hard. I don't know if I want to do it.
I don't know if I want to do that. It's but then again, I was also there was this lady. Oh, wait a minute. I actually forgot her card right here. This girl, Marlena, was at this event this weekend. I was telling her. One of the things Craig did at this event, because he was talking about one part of it was story, building yourself as a speaker. Part of it was story. And James Barber telling them things about, well, you need to have this short story of a life-changing moment. And I think they said something like, we need a 3-minute. You need to be able to tell it in as quick as 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. But there's times you're going to spread it out, right? And he asked for 2 examples from the audience, and someone else gave another one. They did good, right? But then he asked a second one, so I said, I'll come up and do it. I walked to the front of the room and I did the story of my dad being laid off when I was like 1975. So I would have been about 9 years old. And I told it from a 9-year-old's perspective, right? In 3 minutes. So this girl, Marlena, one day she had lunches with me and she's sitting with lunch. She goes, your story about with your dad, very impactful. And I said, yeah, it's when I became an entrepreneur. I said, truthfully. And I didn't know the word for it at 9 years of age. I didn't know that I was going to be called an entrepreneur, but I knew, but now when I go back, I know that's what I became at that moment in time. And it was because I did not want a company to control my life.
Yeah.
Or my family's life. So I have been willing to, over my life, work 80 hours a week to avoid getting a 40-hour-a-week job. Sometimes 100 hours a week to avoid getting a 40-hour-a-week job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work so I can avoid doing that. My whole life is about that.
Yeah.
Right. If my investments ever stopped, I'd pull my lifestyle down. Right. Because again, I'm doing everything I can to avoid getting that 40-hour-a-week job.
Yeah. And I guess it just depends on your point of view. And like you said, when you're in a 40-hour-a-week job, they're controlling, for the most part, they're controlling what you make. They're controlling what you do. They're controlling a lot of it because they own the business. It's their business. So you're basically making them look better or worse depending on what you do in your job. Yeah. But as an entrepreneur, it's you. It's all you. So if you fail, it's your fail. If you succeed, it's your success. And you're the one who gets to make all the decisions. But I mean, just like I said, it's not always an easy thing to do. And when a lot of people started, I mean, we had can't remember the number, but it was millions of people that started their own business when it came to COVID and stopped doing the 9 to 5.
I don't know.
Excuse me.
I don't know. I didn't follow the news stories about that. So anyway.
Oh my God. Whatever. Tim gets his information from Wikipedia.
Okay, yeah, like I trust Wikipedia too. But we got something there we can cover because of what happened in the general news, the business related. All right, and it wasn't just one; it was two. This past week, where two news people, well-known news peoples on their channel, were let go.
Yep.
All right. I don't know the reasons why, and I don't care, right? But I did see a clip with one of them where he basically said, over the past couple of years, his idea of watching the news, realized it was no longer about the news business is no longer about sharing with you what's going on. It's about controlling the people, controlling the narrative.
Mm-hmm. And based on their audience, they thought what their audience wanted to see, and they controlled the narrative so that it would be geared towards the audience, whether it was truthful or not.
Yeah, and it's not just side by side. It's the whole purpose of the entire media is to control the narrative, and then we have sides that control their sides.
Yeah.
But the whole, you know what I mean? But the whole like media, all encompass media control the entire narrative of what the world sees. This one over here controls this left narrative. This one over here controls this right narrative. In the meantime, the media itself is controlling the whole thing. And when he said that, I'm like, wow. And I don't follow this guy to sit there and go, well, that's somebody I follow. And I was like, wow. I stopped watching the media because of the fact that I just didn't like the way the messages were going. Right. Yeah. And
let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this by saying you didn't like the way the messages were going. You didn't like the way the messages were going based on what you felt they should be said, or because you just didn't like what they were saying?
I did not like this controlled narrative.
Okay.
All right. So if I watched one, I got the point. When I noticed I can watch one and I didn't get news, I got a point of view. All right. From this side of the angle. And then I don't want to watch that one anymore. I put on this one here. Well, it's the same story, but it's from this side of the angle.
Yeah.
It isn't. This is what's going on. It's like, well, we don't like that guy because he's on that side. And he's over here. We don't like that guy because he's on that side. And it's nothing to do with, well, this is what this guy on that side did. It's like, well, we hate that guy. So we're going to do everything bad about the guy. Well, we hate that guy. So we're going to do everything bad. And I'm like, that's not news.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't want to see that anymore. So I stopped watching.
Well, I think part of it too is that we got to a point that if we weren't hearing the narrative that we wanted to hear,
That's what most people, they don't, that they stop because they don't want to hear the narrative they want to hear.
Then we would change and go to it. And then if we heard what we wanted to hear, then we started watching that narrative.
And then we stopped watching it. No, I didn't want to watch even the ones that I agreed with their opinion. Yeah. I didn't want to watch it because it was so icky. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? Yes, I'm on your side of the fence, but you make it sound like so icky.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you get the creepy. It's like you sound like the creepy old guy. Right? And that's not what the media was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be just to report facts. Today the weather is this. Today this happened here. Today this happened there. Today this.
But we have 3 clouds in the sky because Joe Biden's president. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Well, in this news, you know what I mean, and even in the weather, do you remember the news things where they were? I mean, when they showed, someone actually took the picture of the clip to show them controlling the narrative of a weather report, holding the umbrella at a career level. Yeah, someone's standing there with a fan, right? Oh yeah, it's so deep out here, and you know what I mean. We got to watch the water so deep, and you see somebody walking by behind them. All right. And the water's this deep.
They were trying to make it worse than it was.
Yeah, flooding's really bad out here, you know, and this guy's walking by, looking at him going, yeah, it's
not
really bad here, dude.
Not really.
But I mean, that's what I mean. And that's not about politics. That's just about
whether you're telling the truth or not.
Yeah. You're just invoking fear in people like, oh my God, this weather's bad. Guess what? It's going to rain sometimes, guys.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the part too. I mean, when you're thinking about it too, when it comes to news and that type of thing, there's a lot of times you're not supposed, the newscaster's not supposed to make an opinion. They're not supposed to have an opinion.
Yeah, right. The newscaster, there's not been news like that in 20 years.
As we know, that has changed over the years, because I remember when we first started watching the news, they were just stating facts. It was today this happened, today that happened, today this happened, and that happened. Done. And it was just, that was it. Now you hear attitude, or it's not like my mom used to say, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Yeah.
And so I think, and it's interesting because we were told, I remember we went on a cruise with this couple, and we were talking about the news stations, and they were an English couple from the UK, and they started laughing and shaking their head. And they said, you guys don't report news. I was like, what do you mean? She says, you guys don't report news. She said, you want to watch real news around the world? You watch the BBC.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will see real news around the world. They have no commentaries. They have no connotation in anything. All they do is they state the facts. That's it.
Yeah.
He said, if you want that, that's what you watch. You don't watch anything in the United States because it's not news. And I was shocked. I was shocked because I didn't expect that. And then when we came back and we started watching the BBC, a lot different. If you watch the two neck and neck, a lot different.
But I mean, to see these two guys go like this, right? And you know what I mean? And then I see the clips onto it. I know, like, my mom has to tell me when a celebrity passes away. I think when a celebrity passes away, because half the time I don't know if it's done on social media.
Yeah.
Like if I'm so busy I can't check my Facebook or my Instagram that day, I wouldn't have no clue, right? And that's just gotten to be the way it is with life. I just guess what? I don't need to know all this stuff anymore.
No, it's well, and I think a lot of times too, the bigger we get, the smaller our world gets.
Yeah.
Because the world is so big and there's so much going on that people can't handle it, so they go into their bubble. Mm-hmm. I can handle this. I can manage this because I can control this. I can't control all of this. Yeah. So I'm going to stay in my little bubble right here. And this is what I'm going to look at, view, deal with. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the hardest part, especially with social media and so forth. I don't know if you even heard about this now. They're trying to set things, and I don't know how they're going to do this. They're trying to set it up with social media that kids in some cases under the age of 17 cannot access a lot of these channels. How are they going to police that? I mean, any kid could put in a different email address, a different birth date, they can't police it now. How are they going to police that?
They're trying to build a controlled world.
Yeah, and the thing is it's. I think it's.
I've said that. Well, no, I've said that with electric cars. It's not has nothing to do whether it's good for the environment or not. It's trying to build a controlled world.
To a certain degree, yes, to a certain degree. But if you think about it, though, too, it has to do with the parents. What are the parents teaching the kids, and how much are they paying attention to what they're doing?
Well, if more parents did like my parents did, all right, we'd have a lot less misbehaving kids in the world. Don't freeze up on me now. You did not freeze up on me. Hello. I'm going to check my internet to make sure it's me and not Katrina. Anyway, she'll be back here soon, I'm sure. Well, I seem to be going. Katrina, we've lost Katrina. Katrina, come back. Our show seems to be running without Katrina right now. Anyway, maybe not. So I've got great download speed, but I don't have very good upload speed. Which means I should see her very well. And she is gone. Hopefully she come back real soon with her internet coming back up. Anyway, what were we saying? I don't know. Come back, come back, come back. Anyway, so this is supposed to be a show where Tim Gillette and Katrina Garcia actually do a show together. But on occasion, Katrina has disappeared. And maybe she come back, maybe not. Yes. What happened?
My system is like.
You pulled a plug on a computer. Not keep going. Not do so well. No.
My system took a dive.
Oh no. All right. So I'm on the internet with Larry Broughton today. His internet kept crashing and crashing and crashing.
Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
One of the things that I did, so no, we had the issues here at the house when we moved up here because of new internet. One of the things that we started to do, and I researched and found into it, was this. We use this thing called this mesh system. All right, Wi-Fi 6 mesh or something like that. It is. Ours is a product called Orbi made by Netgear. We have different satellites all over the house, so it evens the internet all around the house. Right. And that's what some people are getting into now with streaming like this, because the bandwidth is so much being pushed to its limit with everybody working from home.
Oh, it's huge. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, it is an issue. Yes, we're going to have to do the same thing. It just crashed on me.
Hey, Jeff caught us live, man. That's good for Jeff. He's a good guy.
He crashed on me. It crashed on me. Just saying. Crashed hard.
Anyway.
So, I mean, like we were talking about, it just depends on what you look at, how you get your stuff. And you were talking about controlled world.
Control. Yeah.
Controlled world. To a certain, but if you think about it, a lot of times a controlled world is easier for some people to handle than something that's not controlled, because then they have to control it themselves.
Well,
that
in
makes
many
sense?
countries, they do. Well, no, in many countries around the world that do have internet, there are things that are controlled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We just want to live in a country that is a free society.
Yes.
Free society without controls, all right, can be bad and it can be good.
Very true. Very true. Just depends. Depends on where you're at, your situation, what's going on. But I mean, and the thing is we've talked about this before, when it comes to control, the only thing that you can truly control is
you. What did you do? The only thing I can control is the second Katrina says something, she goes pop off the screen just like that. Anyway. So, in the world of an internet show, the reason so many shows are doing or having places like this is because when we do all work from home, we are all working off of a home-based internet system. The reason so many companies have this more high speed, and when you're in the office, it doesn't go down as much like that, is because they have to gear up and they have to build a bandwidth to have that many people going in and out. So, and I said that when in the beginning of the pandemic, that would happen. Let's see. Is she coming back?
OMG. I swear to goodness gracious.
So how's that cheap internet working out for you?
Oh, shut up. I would do something else, but I want to be nice. Just saying. Oh my God. We need a mesh. We definitely need a mesh. Normally it works pretty good, but having issues. Issues. Gonna have to get a mesh. Anyway.
Wait a minute. I was just looking through our comments on this thing, because remember I have the comments in here. Stop saying I'm gonna. Rule number 1. Business G-spot rule number 1. Stop saying I'm gonna.
Yep.
Rule number 2. Get out of your own way.
Yep.
Rule number 3. You ready for this one? You ready for this? I don't know. Can you handle this one?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time just handling this damn internet. What's 3? I'm waiting.
Get good internet.
Whatever. You know how many times, though, I've seen people have problems with their internet and doing the same thing when they're having a feed going on. But here's the thing. I don't have problems with Zoom. It's only with StreamYard.
No, I see it today on Zoom, and I've watched people on Zoom go in and out. All right.
Yeah, but for the most part, when I've had calls with Zoom, I have not had very many problems. It's always with StreamYard. It must use more bandwidth.
Mm-hmm. But you also can check what you've got going on in your house. One of the things I did before I put the mesh system in that equalized the internet out, right? And I got a direct line. So my computer here is not running off of a Wi-Fi connection. It's running off of a direct line connection to the internet.
Yeah.
Before I did that, I had to do things like I had to shut off all the TVs in the house because the TVs were coming through the same area. All right. That affected it. I couldn't have 2 people streaming at the same time. In the beginning, I could. When the pandemic first started, Gwen and I could all the time, and it worked. But we had a better internet at the condo than we did here. All right. If you have a problem with your internet system, 2 people cannot be doing a streaming show like this at the same time from the same house.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
That does affect it. So, but balance out the internet. The mesh, and I'm about to buy a couple more satellites to spread it out a little bit more. So
it's crazy. Yeah. Well, and then there's a lot more people that are streaming, a lot more people that are doing Zoom calls, a lot more people that are doing podcasts and so forth. So there's a lot more draw. And
it's being drawn from local residential areas where that's something I was saying while you were gone is, your commercial places, had these old fashioned T1 lines that went in, and they had T1 lines in back when you and I were doing dial up. Yeah. And like what they have now are probably T100 lines.
I imagine so.
But also like you got a new house. So if they wired your house correctly, you won't have this. One of the things I did when I did my condo is why I had better internet there. I ran the wires through that walls and I put Cat 6 in. The average house has Cat 5 in. And not a good quality Cat 6. No, I got a good quality Cat 6 that can run video streaming over it.
I think we've got Cat 5. I'm not sure if we have Cat 5 or Cat 6, but
even Cat 6, there's a ranking in Cat 6 that's better quality. Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna definitely have to work on it.
That's just part of the gig. Anyway.
It is what it is. I'm
It
just saying. In and out. I've been in and out.
Yeah. Hey, that's a hamburger joint. You should go there sometime.
I know. If we had one here, I would love to, but
They're better than Whataburger. Just saying.
I agree with you.
I mean, I'm a Texan and I like Whataburger, but I'm saying they're better than Whataburger.
I agree with you. Totally agree. Well, we're at the top of our hour. That went quick. Considering I dropped out, what, twice?
Considering you kept taking breaks.
I was done with the conversation.
Fine.
Move on.
Fine. Be that way.
I was moving on.
All right. Tell them about your business real quick.
Oh, hello all. I'm Katrina Garcia with KG Website Designs over there. And we help you build a website that works for you and makes you more profitable.
Cool. And I got simple, easy websites. Quality templates, built fast, built reliable to run for you.
You're not doing the simple, easy marketing anymore?
Sure. Simple, easy events. We do
Simple,
one of
easy
the
marketing. Simple, easy
simple,
marketing.
easy marketing is on everything. You know, it's
Simple and easy.
so I was supposed to be on someone's show last night from Australia. They booked the time with me, and then I got nothing, right? So then all of a sudden I noticed that their thing pops up about they're doing a show last night on Simple Easy Marketing. And someone else was doing it. So I'm like, well, I got no response from the show, so I'll come back and check later. So it was about 11 something my time almost when I clicked it on the end of the show. And I'm like, so you must be telling them all about my business, huh? And they go, and like, huh, yeah. So the guy that she was interviewing was somebody who introduced me to this lady. And he goes, yeah, well, that's actually is Tim's business, Simple Easy Marketing. And so I put in the comments, yes, that is a trademark that Tim Gillette owns, Simple Easy Marketing. It's his trademark program, right?
Wow.
I got a text message from him back in minutes. Oh my God! Originally I had you scheduled for somehow or another. I screwed the schedule up. My fault. I'm bad, right?
Whoopsie.
Oopsie.
Whoopsie. Sorry.
Anyway. Hey, we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yes. 2 weeks. So we're not doing next week, and we're not doing the week after that.
So we're not doing the 11th either?
Well, you said 2 weeks.
That's
it's only
2 weeks.
1 week. We're only going to be gone.
The
I'm
4th
only going
is
to be
1 week. The 11th is 2 weeks from now.
Oh, okay.
So since I can't say it next week, since she's not going to be here for that show, may the 4th be with you.
Got it.
All right, guys, we're out. We will see you guys next 2 weeks from now. All right, bye.
Later.